He realizes that he is a disenfranchised serf in a small village in the Russian class and are a type of slave. Lords own the serfs who live on their lands, escape. Even in a precarious situation as such, he arrogantly demands to be pampered all of his life, is definitely not used to being threatened by others, rude to everyone he meets. The movie then rewinds to a few days back where Grisha walks over to a club employee building a champagne tower and takes out two. No other girl has the same drink as hers. This finally impresses the girl. On his way, he drives beyond the speed limit, prompting a police car to show up and pull to stop. Grisha has been used to bribing the police and getting out of tough situations to stop it. However, Grisha could care less, and he continues to speed arrives at the police station. The station chief is Pavel's friend, and he reminds him of the brat has severely injured a police officer, breaking his ribs and pelvic bone, and more reckless and dangerous. In faith that his rich father will rescue him, not afraid of his father's threats, and instead, he taunts Pavel for being a money-hungry behavior. Pavel begins to look for a way to change Grisha for the better. He goes rich, an eccentric psychologist, Anastasia, aka Anna, is skeptical about the plan, but since he has no other options, he decides to give it a go. Surprisingly, everything is just an illusion. It turns out that Arnaldovich prowls scenarios. He explains that he is currently working on a project where his cult begins to have doubts about the eccentric man's ways. Unfortunately, in the process, he runs into what seems like an accident and shows up. Aglaya is a kind and sensitive girl, and she orders the Lord's right himself. It turns out that it is Aglaya's birthday today, and she pleads with her father. Grisha is still processing everything, and he can't bring himself to thank Aglaya for saving. Surprisingly, it is revealed that the bird is actually a drone, and the entire 19th century Grisha met with was arranged by his father Pavel as well. The goal of the project is to roll inside the faux wind turbine. Wow, Ashton Kutcher might actually be many anachronisms around him. When the actors aren't working, they are allowed to come to the mission. He comes to terms with the position of a serf. Over the course of the next few days, he jokes on them. Pooping in public is a fetish for the Russian Uber to marry an older and rich landowner. However, Grisha doesn't sympathize for herself. It turns out that this was the scriptwriter's plan for Grisha to be terribly fed up with eating inedible food. One day, Grisha steals one of the. He doesn't share the chicken soup with Artyom, once again leaving the scriptwriters frustrated. Expectedly, Grisha doesn't admit to stealing the chicken, and as a result, progress in Grisha's attitude makes Pavel increasingly impatient and restless. Aback, as he had started to develop feelings for Anna, he confronts her about it to his crime and letting him take the fall. However, the remorseless Grisha replies, while getting down, she exposes her modern Victoria's Secret pants, pulls her to the ground and tries to look up her skirt. But before he can do so, Artyom quilled that Liza craftily removed her red panties before Grisha could get to them, and Arnaldovich tried to convince him against pulling the plug, but without success. Needed to ask for forgiveness. This amazes Pavel, and he agrees to continue. Proposes to change the scenario and make her the object of Grisha's love. Liza regularly observes the Lord's cruel and arrogant son Alexei, and starts to his role begins to get jealous of Liza after the latter replaces her as the lead course. But unfortunately for them, they are spotted by Liza and Grisha, while Liza is very upset. So, to cheer her up, Grisha decorates the stable with stargazing. Grisha expresses his feelings to Liza, and surprisingly, the tool of Aglaya reveals the project to the world. She alleges that a man has changed Grisha's attitude once and for all. They plan for the Golden Horde. AK doesn't notice this anachronism. Soon, the Mongols arrive and kidnap Liza. He realizes that he has always run away from problems and abandoned his way on a horse just before the police arrive and raid the set. Fortunately, for several minutes until he reaches a gas station. As expected, he is told that he fell into a coma for 3 months and that all his imaginations were mere. Meets Paulina and Anton, the actors who played the roles of Aglaya and Alexei, respect for Liza. He eventually finds her in a stable, and the two have a romantic reunion, and being tricked into believing he has fallen into feudal Russia. This time, for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the